Hello everyone. Sorry I am not here today, but I'm going to leave you my video on similar polygons. This is going to be on your second checkpoint because it's all about being consistent, which means we are going to be setting up proportions. So one thing that you need to know about similar polygons, they have the same shape but are different sizes. So two things are going to be true. If they are similar, they are going to have corresponding angles that are congruent, meaning the angle that sits in the same spot. For example, angle A is going to be congruent to angle D because they sit in the same spot. Congruent means that they're equal. If angle A was 95 degrees, angle B is 95 degrees. So angle C would also be congruent to its corresponding angle, which is angle F. They have to be equal measures. And then lastly, angle B has to be congruent to angle E. This is this little squiggly like that. That means congruent, which is equal, like I have up here. And then corresponding sides have to be in the same ratio. Okay, so okay, that means segment AB has to be corresponding to DE, okay? So what we do is we set up a proportion or ratio. So we put AB over the side that sits in that same spot as DE. Okay, if that was 1 to 4, all of them have to be in the ratio of 1 to 4. That has to be equal to, well, pick another side. Let's go with BC. It has to be, its corresponding side has to be FE. And that has to be equal to the last set of sides, AC, over its corresponding side of DF. Please know you have to be consistent. If you look at this, if I have this big triangle over little, big over little has to equal big over little. Okay, so two things must be true. Corresponding sides are in the same ratio, and corresponding angles have to be equal. So look at this. It says find X and Y in the similar. That means similar. Polygons. These are triangles, okay? Notice how they're twisted and turned. So kind of match them up. If you notice, X is in the same spot right here as what other angle? Well, match them up. Look at, there's 55 and 55. Those are congruent. Then you got a 65 here and a 65 there. And because X is an angle measure, it has to be this other missing angle, which is 60 degrees. So that's the easiest part. The second thing that we need to do is we need to find Y, and Y is right there, okay? So pick corresponding sides. So pick a ratio you know. I'm going to go to the 65 to 55 degree angle right here. I'm going to go 4, pick that side, 4 over its corresponding side sits in the same place as 65 and 55, which would be right here, these two angles. So we put 4 over 12, that's little over big, has to equal, you got it, little over big. So I come back to the little triangle and I pick its side length, Y, over its corresponding side length is 55 to 60. Remember we found that one, so it's got to be the one right here, which is 9. And again, we cross multiply to solve. Here we get 36 equals 12y. Divide by 12, and y is going to equal 3. You guys, these are honestly harder to get wrong than they are to get right. All right, we're going to practice some problems. This time it says triangle ABC is similar to triangle DEF. We know corresponding angles are congruent and corresponding sides are in the same ratio. So if you look, angle A is going to go with angle D, B goes with E, C goes with F, and the same thing is true about their sides. So if I look at the sides, AB, right here, I'm going to put 21 over. Its corresponding side would be DE because it sits in the same order as this one. So we pick DE. So we have little over big has to equal little over big. Well, look at X is on the bigger triangle, but that's okay. The corresponding side would be BC, which is what, 36 over X, and cross multiply. Here we're going to get 21X equals 1,260. I'm going to divide both sides by 21. And I get X equals 60. Okay? Look at number 2. If you look at number 2, what's missing? X, see it right there? X is an angle. So match up the angles, okay? Well, the only one that we don't know, because remember, C corresponds with F back in our order up here. C corresponds with F, so angle F has to equal 44 degrees. Those are the easy ones. Same is true about number 3. These two correspond to each other, so X is going to equal 21 degrees. Now these are a little turned sideways, so it doesn't matter what I start with. I'm going to start with this 6. I'm going to put 6 over, that's BC, and we know from our order up there, BC corresponds to EF, which is 9. Little over big has to equal little over big. Well, if I look, AB is going to correspond to, yep, you got it, X. So I put 8 over X. Cross multiply and solve. There's 6X equals 72. Divide by 6 on both sides. X equals 12. Okay? I'm going to skip number 5 because that's pretty easy. Number 6, and you're going to have to draw pictures when they give you story problems like this. It says a palm tree casts a shadow that is 44 feet long, which is right here. A 6-foot ladder casts a shadow that is 16 feet long. So here's your ladder. Estimate the height of the palm tree. Here's your palm tree. We're going to call that X. Well, these are similar. They're the same shape, but just different sizes. I'm going to pick the height of the palm tree over, what's its corresponding side? You got it. It's 6. So X over 6 is equal to, well, big over little has to equal big over little. So we're going to set it equal to, come back to the bigger shadow, 44 over 16. Cross multiply to solve that, right? So here we get 16X equals, take 44 times 6, 264. We're going to divide both sides by 16. And you get X equals 16.5 feet. That's how tall that palm tree is. Okay, you guys are going to do an IXL. Again, set up proportions. A lot harder to get these wrong than it is to get them right. Okay, good luck.